Hatred is not random, it follows a pattern, and most men never see it, because they're looking for reasons, while the real cause is position. You think people dislike you because of something you did, something you said, something you showed. That's not how it works. In the world of power, reactions are triggered long before logic gets involved, before conversation, before behavior, before explanation. The judgment is already made. The prince reveals a darker reality. People don't respond to truth. They respond to perceived threat, comparison, and control. Silently. No confrontation, no clear signal, just a shift in how people treat you. That you can't fully explain. That's what this video is about. Not motivation, not surface advice, but the hidden mechanics behind why respect turns into resistance, why growth creates tension, and why the more you rise, the more invisible opposition you attract. Watch carefully, because once you understand this, you stop trying to be liked and start understanding why you were never meant to be. The silent resentment, why your presence triggers hidden hostility. Hostility doesn't always show itself openly. It operates quietly, beneath controlled expressions and measured behavior. What appears neutral on the surface often carries something else underneath. Pay attention to subtle shifts. A conversation changes tone. Someone withdraws slightly. Another becomes overly agreeable without reason. These reactions don't happen randomly. They are responses to something being triggered. That trigger is comparison. The moment your presence introduces a contrast, tension forms, not because of what you said, but because of what is being reflected back at others. Here's the law. People respond to the reflection you create, not the identity you claim. And that reflection can be uncomfortable. When your behavior signals discipline, control, or restraint, it exposes inconsistency in others. Not directly, but clearly enough to be felt. That feeling creates pressure. Now a decision happens internally. Face the gap, or reject what revealed it. Most avoid the first option. So the discomfort gets redirected. Not openly, not aggressively, but in controlled ways that maintain appearance while shifting attitude. This is where silent resentment forms. Observe how reactions evolve over time. The more composed and self-contained someone becomes, the less predictable others behave around them. Some distance themselves, others subtly challenge. Some attempt to reframe your position. All of it comes from the same source: pressure without resolution. This is why trying to be liked weakens your position. Adjusting yourself to reduce tension sends a signal that your behavior depends on approval. And once that signal is visible, your position becomes unstable. Instability invites testing, and what gets tested loses authority. There is no neutral outcome. Either your presence creates friction, or it disappears into the background. Understanding this shifts your focus. Instead of reacting to words, you start reading patterns. Instead of taking behavior personally, you recognize it as a response to pressure. Because hidden hostility is not random, it is a byproduct of contrast. And when contrast exists, it means your presence is being registered at a level most people can't ignore. The status threat. Status is never negotiated out loud. It is assigned silently and defended aggressively. The moment someone registers your presence, a calculation begins, not about who you are, but where you stand compared to them. That evaluation happens instantly, and once it's made, everything that follows is filtered through it. Niccolò Machiavelli observed this clearly. Men are not disturbed by strength alone. They are disturbed when that strength repositions them. That's where the conflict starts. Consider this principle. Position in any hierarchy is unstable the moment a stronger signal enters the space. You don't need to challenge anyone directly. You don't need to compete openly. If your behavior suggests higher control, sharper discipline, or clearer direction, it forces a recalculation. And that recalculation creates pressure, because now there is a gap. Not one you created intentionally, but one they are now aware of. And awareness changes everything. Watch how behavior adjusts under this pressure. Someone who was relaxed becomes slightly guarded. Another begins to test boundaries in small ways. Someone else shifts from neutral to subtly dismissive. None of this is accidental. It's strategic. Because when a man senses his position weakening, his first instinct is not self-improvement. It is correction of the imbalance. And the fastest way to correct it is to lower the source of the threat. Quietly. A comment that reduces your effort. A reaction that questions your direction. A small challenge designed to see if you break frame. These are not emotional responses. They are calculated attempts to stabilize position. Most men collapse here. They explain themselves. They try to regain approval. They step into the other person's frame just to prove they belong. That's where they lose. Because the moment you start proving your position, you admit it can be questioned. And anything that can be questioned can be weakened. The stronger approach is simpler, but harder to execute. Remain unchanged. No need to respond to every shift. No need to correct every perception. Let your behavior stay consistent while others adjust around it. Because consistency creates pressure in the opposite direction. Over time, the one who does not move becomes the reference point, and the one who reacts becomes the one being measured. Comment immovable, and subscribe if your position doesn't shift under pressure. The comparison effect. Growth doesn't stay personal for long. The moment it becomes visible, it becomes a reference point for everyone around you. Not because they want it to, because the mind compares automatically. No one opts into comparison. It happens the instant your progress is noticeable. And once that process begins, it cannot be turned off. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this dynamic well. Men are less disturbed by your success, and more disturbed by what your success reveals about their own position. That's where the tension forms. Consider this principle. Visible advancement forces internal measurement. The moment your discipline, results, or direction become clear, others are pulled into a silent evaluation of themselves. Not by you, by contrast. And contrast is uncomfortable when the gap is widening. Watch how reactions evolve over time. At first there is support, encouragement, even recognition. But as your progress continues, something begins to shift. The energy changes. Engagement becomes selective. Small remarks appear that weren't there before. Nothing obvious, but not neutral either. Because your growth has stopped being harmless. It has become evidence. Evidence that more is possible. Evidence that effort produces results. Evidence that excuses are optional. And that kind of evidence creates pressure. Now the mind looks for relief. It can either match the standard or reject it. Most reject it, not directly, but through subtle reframing. Your discipline becomes extreme. Your focus becomes unnecessary. Your consistency becomes something to question rather than respect. This is not random behavior. It is psychological defense, because reducing your progress is easier than increasing their own. Most men misread this moment. They slow down. They soften their edge. They reduce visibility just to maintain comfort in their environment. That is where they lose long-term position. Because once you adjust your trajectory for others, you place your direction under external control. And what is controlled externally cannot grow freely. The stronger approach is different. Continue forward without reacting to the shift. Let results accumulate without explanation. Let consistency replace validation. Because over time the dynamic resolves itself. Some will rise to meet the standard. Others will distance themselves from it. Both outcomes serve the same purpose. They remove the illusion of equality and replace it with clarity. The control problem. Control isn't taken by force. It's taken through predictability. The moment someone understands how you think, how you react, how you respond under pressure, they don't need to dominate you. They can manage you. That's how most interactions are quietly controlled. Machiavelli pointed to this pattern repeatedly. Men don't need to overpower you if they can anticipate you. Once your behavior is mapped, your responses can be influenced with precision. That's where the advantage shifts. Consider this principle. What can be predicted can be positioned against. If your reactions are consistent in an obvious way, people begin adjusting around them. They learn when to push, when to pull, when to provoke, and when to retreat. Over time, they stop reacting to you and start guiding you, and you won't even notice it. Now remove that predictability. The moment your responses stop following expected patterns, something changes instantly. Conversations slow down. People hesitate. The certainty they once had disappears, because now they don't know what comes next. Watch this in real situations. Someone expects a reaction and prepares for it. You don't give it. They push again, trying to confirm the pattern. You still don't respond the same way. Now uncertainty enters the interaction, and uncertainty creates discomfort, not because of aggression, but because control is slipping. Without prediction, they can't guide the outcome. Without guidance, they lose position. So they begin testing. Small provocations, subtle pressure, controlled challenges designed to force you into a predictable response. Most men fail here. They react, they explain, they fall back into patterns just to stabilize the moment. And the moment they do, control is restored. But the man who understands this dynamic operates differently. Not randomly, not emotionally, but selectively. He doesn't respond on cue. He doesn't react under pressure. He chooses when to engage and when to remain still. That's where the shift happens. Because now the other person must adjust. They have to think before acting. They have to calculate instead of assuming. And calculation slows people down. Over time, this creates a new position. One built not on dominance, but on uncertainty. And uncertainty forces caution. Because what cannot be predicted cannot be controlled. The exposure principle. Exposure doesn't begin with accusation. It begins the moment someone feels seen in a way they didn't intend. No confrontation, no direct call-out, just a shift where certain behaviors stop blending in and start standing out. That's enough. Machiavellian strategy recognizes this pattern well. People can tolerate flaws, but they resist clarity when it threatens the image they depend on. That's where friction begins. Consider this principle. The clearer you see, the harder it becomes for others to maintain their mask. Most people operate through controlled perception, not entirely false, but carefully managed. It allows them to function without confronting certain truths about themselves. Now introduce precision in awareness. The moment your observation sharpens, their performance becomes unstable, not because you expose them directly, but because your presence removes the cover they rely on. Watch how behavior shifts under that pressure. Someone who normally speaks with certainty becomes slightly defensive. Another avoids specific topics. Someone else changes tone the moment attention is directed toward them. These are not random changes. They are protective adjustments. Because once a person senses they are being read accurately, the objective changes. It is no longer about connection. It is about controlling what remains visible. And control requires distance. This is where resistance forms. Subtle, contained, but consistent. Less openness, more guarded interaction. Occasional attempts to redirect attention away from themselves. All of it serves one purpose: reducing exposure. Because confronting what is being revealed would require internal correction. And most avoid that cost. This is why reactions often feel disproportionate. Small observations create tension. Quiet awareness triggers discomfort. Presence alone begins altering behavior. It was never about what you said. It's about what became visible. Trying to soften this effect weakens your position. Ignoring what you see just to maintain smooth interaction trades clarity for temporary acceptance. And that kind of acceptance has no durability. The stronger approach is different. Observe without announcing. Recognize patterns without immediate reaction. Allow time to confirm what is already being revealed. Because exposure does not need to be spoken to have impact. It only needs to exist. And once it exists, people begin adjusting themselves around it. Type "I see" through it below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. The scarcity tension. Need is not neutral. It signals position. The one who needs more stands lower. The one who needs less controls the distance. And distance is where power begins. That shift is felt immediately, even if no one says it out loud. Machiavellian thinking treats dependency as leverage. The more you rely on someone for attention, approval, or connection, the more influence they gain over your behavior. Remove that reliance, and the dynamic changes completely. Consider this principle. Access loses value when it is always available. When your time, attention, and presence are easy to obtain, people stop measuring them. There is no effort required, no uncertainty involved. And without uncertainty, there is no tension. Now remove that access, not through games, through detachment. The moment you stop depending on interaction to feel complete, your behavior stabilizes. You respond when it suits you. You engage without urgency. You leave without hesitation. And that creates something most people are not used to: uncertainty. Watch how reactions shift under this condition. Someone who expected immediate attention becomes slightly irritated. Another tries to pull you back into predictable patterns. Someone else tests boundaries to see if your distance is real or temporary. These are not emotional reactions. They are adjustments to lost control. Because when you no longer need the interaction, they can no longer guide it. And when guidance disappears, discomfort replaces it. This is where tension builds. Not attraction alone, but resistance alongside it. Because your detachment removes leverage, and people instinctively resist losing leverage over someone they once understood. Many men misread this moment. They interpret resistance as rejection and move closer, trying to restore connection. That is the mistake. Because the moment you move closer out of pressure, you restore the very dynamic that reduced your position in the first place. The stronger move is restraint. Maintain distance without explanation. Let your availability remain selective. Allow people to experience the absence of guaranteed access. Because over time, that absence forces recalibration. They begin to value what is no longer certain. They begin to adjust to what they cannot control, and what cannot be controlled commands attention. The power shift. Respect doesn't arrive clean. It disturbs the environment first. The moment your presence starts carrying weight, reactions split. Some move closer, others create distance, not randomly, but because your position changes how they see themselves. That's where the shift begins. Power has a side effect most men ignore. When your behavior signals control, direction, and certainty, it forces others into a comparison they didn't choose. And comparison creates pressure. Pressure demands a response. Some respond with alignment, others respond with resistance. Watch how it plays out. One person becomes more attentive, more cooperative. Another grows colder, more critical. Someone else starts testing small boundaries, just to see if you hold your frame. These reactions are not contradictions. They are reflections of the same cause. Because when your position rises, it reorganizes the space around you. People are no longer interacting with you as an equal. They are adjusting to a shift they feel, but cannot fully control. And not everyone benefits from that shift. For some, your presence becomes something to respect. For others, it becomes something to push against. That's why respect and hate exist together. Not emotional hate, but controlled opposition. A quiet need to reduce your influence without confronting it directly. Subtle resistance. Small challenges. Measured behavior designed to see if your position is stable or temporary. Most men collapse under this pressure. They try to fix the tension by becoming more agreeable. They soften their presence to regain comfort. They trade position for acceptance without realizing it. That's the loss. Because the moment you reduce pressure, you also reduce respect. The stronger move is restraint. Hold position without reacting to every shift. Let your behavior remain consistent while others adjust. Do not chase approval from those who resist your presence. Because over time, the dynamic clarifies itself. Those who respect you align naturally. Those who resist either adapt or remove themselves. Both outcomes are useful. Because at higher levels, Clean approval doesn't exist. If no one resists you, you haven't moved far enough. The isolation law. Elevation is not a social experience. It separates before it rewards. The moment your behavior stops aligning with the average, the environment begins to shift around you. Not loudly, but in ways that become impossible to ignore over time. Familiar interactions lose their depth. Conversations feel limited. Certain connections begin to fade without conflict. That's not coincidence, that's cost. Because rising changes more than your results. It changes your reference point. What once felt normal starts feeling inefficient. What once felt acceptable begins to feel like compromise. And that shift creates distance. Not forced, not dramatic, just inevitable. Watch how it unfolds. People who once related to you easily now struggle to connect the same way. The alignment that held the interaction together starts weakening, not because of dislike, but because the direction is no longer shared. That creates a gap, and gaps don't stay neutral. Some will try to pull you back into familiarity, subtle pressure, small reminders of who you used to be, attempts to re-anchor you to a version that made them comfortable. Others will step away completely, not out of conflict, but because the difference becomes too clear to ignore. Both reactions come from the same source, misalignment, because growth is not just expansion, it is selection, and selection removes what no longer fits. Most men resist this phase. They slow themselves down, they dilute their focus, they reconnect with environments that no longer match their direction, just to avoid the discomfort of distance. That is where progress collapses, because the moment you prioritize belonging over direction, you return to the level you tried to leave. The stronger move is acceptance. Distance is not loss, it is filtration. It removes noise, weak alignment, and low-value interaction without needing confrontation. Over time, something replaces what was removed. Fewer connections, but stronger ones. Less noise, but more clarity. Less approval, but more control. This is the part no one talks about. Rising does not make you more connected. It makes you more selective. And selection always carries a cost. But that cost is what protects your position. Because what separates you is the same thing that elevates you. Now you see it clearly. The reactions, the distance, the silent resistance. None of it was random. It was always a response to your position. And once you understand that, you stop taking it personally and start moving strategically. Because this game was never about being liked. It was about being positioned. If this changed how you see people, then don't ignore it. Comment "seen" so you lock this mindset in. Like the video so this message reaches others who are still blind to it. Subscribe, because this is just the surface level of power. And share it with someone who needs to understand what's really happening around them. Stay controlled, stay aware, and never move without understanding the game.